can we do to tackle the enormous challenges of our times, like the excessive exploitation of our natural resources, the rapid extinction of plants and animals, the climate crisis, war, or the rising social inequalities which divide our societies? It seems these are overwhelming problems, out of reach for individuals like you and me to solve. Wouldn't you agree? If so, you are not alone. And through my own work and research on social transformation, I came to realize that we imagine these problems and their solutions as something external, something which might be decided over there, but not in here, really inside of us. So despite our good intentions, we struggle to address the challenges of our times effectively. But I am here today because I believe we are missing out on something amazing. Just as the Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh perfectly put it, the way out is in. A common blind spot, a transformation potential which is often overlooked. Yet it is precisely this untapped potential I like you to become aware of. This realm of social change, which is not only about thinking and doing differently, but about being different in the world. Maybe you can sense it already inside of yourself. But what does it mean, being different in the world, and how to get there? I found the answer in something which I call reflexive praxis, and its transformative power for social change. An approach which also transformed how I understand and contribute to social change, and more importantly, how I sense and make sense of the world. And since it had the potential to transform me, I believe that it also holds the power to transform you. Allow me to show you how. It started 4 years ago when I left my home in Switzerland and went on to immersive and experiential learning journey in India. There, I met change seekers from all over the world. Our program was designed to learn from each other, our diverse backgrounds, cultures, and perspectives. This 6 months experience really took me out of my comfort zone and into a stretch zone. It made me feel uncomfortable, but this was nothing compared to the inner journey we as a group would embark on. And although I consider myself a reflective person and researcher, I hadn't experienced this kind of praxis before. Together, we explored this place inside of us from which we perceive and act upon the world. And we trained these perception muscles through contemplative and reflective exercises like journaling, dialogue, appreciative inquiry, collective sense-making, and nature quests. And we put our learnings directly into action by supporting local initiatives and projects. In fact, this journey led to huge transformations in my own life and work, and I witnessed its transformative power also in the life of the others. I was fascinated by this process and wanted to learn more, so much that it became my field of research. I already understood that social transformation is about people and being with people, but I wanted to gain more insights into the underlying mechanisms. How does profound social change come about? In my studies, I observed how certain practices help us to become aware of our blind spots, our biases and limiting beliefs, and how certain practices can help us in transforming or even transcending them. This kind of praxis can be compared or imagined as a transmutation-like mechanism, which might be as essential for social change as breathing is for yourself. Like breathe in and breathe out. You have reflection, action. This might seem simple, but pursuing such a praxis is at the very crux of changing how we create change, as one of my teachers used to put it. However, those who strive to changing things for the better often focus on the doing more. We aren't always aware of the power of reflexivity, a process which takes us into questioning our own attitudes, assumptions, and beliefs. This shift from doing to questioning might be uncomfortable for many of us, but transformation may require passing through some discomfort first. And although this process might be personal, it doesn't have to be private. In fact, through the company of others, in community, we can enter the space of transformation more easily. And as we start engaging in these reflexive processes, we may face ambiguity, disorientation, uncertainty, and paradox. A state of in-betweenness or liminality, which invites us to let go of our old patterns. And as we allow this experience to happen, we may arrive at a threshold where new insights can flow in and we can grow forth. We transition from control and certainty to potentiality. And as we go through this transition with others, we may realize how we are part of the whole, the social fabric. We see ourselves tightly entangled with it, like a fine thread in this majestic tapestry of life. We experience ourselves anew in and through relationship with others. We transform by weaving all those realizations into new patterns and organizing principles. But how is this inner transformation related to the social change in the world out there, beyond the safe space of community? It is how we are with people, and the level of reflexivity we can develop and practice. So you want to stay aware of your thinking and doing, but you don't know where to start. I identified 3 reflexive practices which help you to tackle the litany, the unquestioned views on reality, in and through your daily interactions. Number 1 is listening deeply. And that's like from the heart. It's from the present of this moment, from your values. You step aside from your predefined conception about a person or a situation. You make space to really understand what the other wants to convey, beyond words. What are their fears and hopes? What can I discover about their needs? So you start recognizing when you're listening to understand, or when you're only reacting and projecting based on your own thoughts and feelings. And number 2, speaking responsibly, meaning that words and language matter. So you might interact with others in a way that helps them to reflect, not to harden their attitudes or judge on their behaviors. Just think of how many times in the last week you started a reply with, "Yes, but." Imagine how much potential is awaiting you by starting with "yes and" instead. That doesn't mean we all have to agree, but you can start building bridges instead of building barriers. And then the 3rd, disrupting conversations And that means it's happening every day. It's over coffee or on a train with a stranger or your friend. You keep questioning worldviews, belief systems, ideologies, and you don't back down from discomfort. You start holding space for difficult conversations to emerge. And this is also how we take care of our blind spots, by inviting a broad spectrum of different point of views more intentionally. Then you slowly contribute to shifting narratives, existing paradigms, by engaging and relating with the external world of ideas and actions more consciously. Through this conscious state of awareness, you can also question, observe, and discern more purposefully. Like, what stories do I believe in? In which stories do I want to take part? What stories help us to move forward and take meaningful action? For instance, when you're looking into the world, do you see the dominant story of separation, survival, the greedy human nature, conditions which might holding us back? Or do you see the emerging story of regenerative culture, this astonishing intelligence residing in nature, or the possibility of an ecological civilizations? Conditions which might allow people and planet starts thriving again. Or the power of love. Understanding what stories we believe in and how we enact them in the world is important. They shape our collectively shared values, norms, and logics. And they, in turn, shape our societies and their futures. So, by integrating these processes and these practices into reflexive praxis, you create continuous cycles of reflection, action, which are grounded in your growing levels of conscious awareness and reflexivity. This is how you enhance and evolve your thinking and doing. This is how you create and manifest this transformative power for social change through yourself, cycle by cycle. And by pursuing this praxis, by walking the path unfolding, we transform patterns, the building blocks of the way ahead. More so, we break new ground by reconfiguring our complex roles and recalibrating our multifaceted relationships with ourselves, others, and the world around us. You change how you are in the world and how the world can change. Now, what can we learn from reflexive praxis regarding the complex challenges of our times? Looking into the world, it dawns on us that fixing our problems with the same kind of thinking and doing which created them won't serve us well. Reflexive praxis is this incredibly powerful approach to change direction by transforming patterns and their underlying foundations. Actually, that might be the missing step change for societal transformation. At least it holds the potential to transform the very conditions of change as we begin to be, think, and act anew, cycle by cycle. After all, it doesn't seem so much out of reach that we can solve our problems. Yet it is now on us to hold this praxis in its capacity and to practice it as a capability all the way down, enacting the social change you want to see in the world through yourself, one person at a time. I'm convinced that with and through reflexive praxis, we can arrive at this new and different level of consciousness, this conscious state of awareness at scale. Then we face, overcome, and win through adversities as we approach the enormous challenges of our times, from the inside out, one step at a time. Thank you.